Torah Life Ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.
Hello everybody, it's Paul Neeson with Torah Life Ministries, and here we are reading the Torah portion. That is the teaching that's founding the Torah, and we're up to the 53rd reading of the Torah. And looking ahead, we only have a couple of more, maybe one more I believe, and then we're done with the Torah portion for this season. But it doesn't stop there. We start all over again next season, and that starts at the beginning of the Torah portion in Genesis 1:1. But right now we're reading the Torah portion. It's Deuteronomy 32, 1 to 52. And let's just recap and go back to last week what we saw. Because we saw last week Moses was being told that he's going to die, and he has to commission Joshua to lead the children into the promised land. And as he's doing that, I want to read the end of last week's Torah portion so we can understand this special song we're about to recite. I'm not going to sing it. I'm not a singer, but we'll go into that. Well, basically, last week we saw in Deuteronomy 31, 27, Moses says, "For I know how rebellious and stiff-necked you are. Here, even while I am still alive with you today, you have rebelled against your wonderful Creator. So how much more will you do so after my death? Assemble for me all the leaders of your tribes and your officials, so I can say these things in their hearing, calling heaven and earth as a witness against them. Because I know after my death you will become very corrupt and turn aside from the way that I have ordered you. And diseases will come upon you, and because you will do what the wonderful Creator sees as evil, and that's what the people will do." So Moses made this special song, and the last week it says, or last Torah portion it says, "Then Moses spoke in the hearing of the whole assembly of Israel the words of this song from beginning to end." And we see the song here in this week's reading in Deuteronomy 32, 1 to 52. It says, "Hear, O heavens, as I speak. Listen, earth, to the words from my mouth. May the teaching fall like rain. May my speech condense like dew, like light rain on blades of grass or showers on growing plants. For I proclaim the name of Yahovah, our wonderful Creator. Come and declare the greatness of our Creator, the rock. His work is perfect. His work is perfect, for all his ways are just." Not some, but all his ways are just. "A trustworthy Elohim who does no wrong. He is righteous and straight." And it goes on to continue. It says, "He is not corrupt. The defect in his children, a crooked and perverted generation, you foolish people, so lacking in wisdom. Is this how you repay Yahovah?" So it goes on to say here that he is mighty, he is just, and all his ways are perfect. And it goes on, this is the way we repay him. You know, we lack wisdom, and it says, in the scriptures, in Hosea 4:6, "My people destroyed for lack of knowledge." But then it goes on to say, again, this, "You foolish people," and this is very important. Deuteronomy 32:6, "You foolish people," and who's he talking them to? All of Israel. Yes, these are all of Israel. Who's Israel today? Anyone that proclaims Yeshua as Messiah. And the message is the same. You foolish people. It says, "So lacking in wisdom, is this how you repay Yahovah?" It goes on to say, "He is your Father who made you his. It was he who formed and prepared you." So he is the one that made you, created you, prepared you, but people just decided to live against his instructions and guidelines, and that's why they were called foolish. It says, "Remember how the old days were. Think of the years through all the ages. Ask your father and he will tell you. Your leaders too, they will inform you. When our wonderful Creator gave each nation its heritage, when he divided the human race, he assigned the boundaries of people according to Israel's population. But our Creator's share was his own people, Jacob and his allotted heritage." That's it. He found his people in the desert country. In howling, wasted wilderness, he protected and cared for him, guided him like a pupil of his eye, like an eagle that stirs up her nest, hovers over her young, spreads wings, takes them and carries them as she flies. Yahavah alone led his people. No alien God was with him. He made them ride on the heights of the earth. They ate the produce of the fields. The produce of the fields they ate. He had them suck honey from the rocks and olive oil from the crags. Curds from the cows and milk from the sheep, with fat rams from Bashan, and goats with the finest wheat flour. And you drank sparkling wine from the blood of grapes. And it goes on to say, as we continue these important words, as Moses parted and was about to descend, it goes on to say in Deuteronomy 32:15, but Yerushalayim grew fat and kicked. He abandoned our Maker, the wonderful Creator. He scorned the rock, his salvation, then roused him to jealousy with alien gods, provoked him with abominations. They sacrificed to demons, non-gods, gods that they had never known, new gods, and that had come up lately, which your ancestors had not feared. You ignored the rock who fathered you, and you forgot a wonderful Creator who gave you birth. And that is no different that's happening out there today. More now probably than ever before. We were supposed to take this as a history lesson and learn where the children messed up and what they did wrong, so we didn't do it again. But that's what's happening again. It goes on to say in Deuteronomy 32:19, Yahovah saw and was filled with scorn, his sons and daughters, provocation. He said, I will hide my face from them and see what will become of them, for they are a perverse generation, untrustworthy children. Well, we're going to continue to see what he said in his warning, but this is what's happening today. He goes on to say, they aroused my jealousy with non-God and provoked me with their vanities. I will arouse their jealousy with a non-people and provoke them with a vile nation. For my anger has been flared up. It burns to the depths of the pits, devouring the earth and its crops, kindling the very roots of the hills. I will heap disasters upon them and use up all my arrows against them. And he goes on to say what he's going to do to them, or what he's going to let happen. Fatigued by hunger, they will be consumed by fever and bitter defeat. I will send them the fangs of wild beasts and the poison of reptiles crawling in the dust. Outside, the sword makes parents childless. Inside, there is panic. As young men and girls alike, they are slain, sucklings and gray beards together. Young and old, everyone who's disobedient will pay the consequences of ignoring the instructions and guidelines of our Creator. I considered putting an end to them, erasing their memory from the human race, but I feared the insolence of their enemy, feared that their foes would mistakenly think we ourselves accomplished this. Yahovah had nothing to do with it. They are a nation without common sense, utterly lacking discernment. If they were wise, they could figure it out and understand their destiny. After all, how can one chase 1,002, put 10,000 to riot, unless their rock sells them to their enemies, unless Yahovah hands them over? For our enemies have no rock like our rock. Even they can see that. Rather, their vine is from the vine of Sodom, from the fields of Amorah. Their grapes are poisonous, their clusters are bitter, their wine is snake poison, their cruel venom of vipers. Isn't this hidden with me, sealed by my storehouse? Vengeance and payback are mine, for the time when their foot slips, for the day that their calamity is coming soon. Their doom is rushing upon them. Yes, Yahovah will judge his people, taking pity on his servants, when he sees that the strength is gone, that no one is left, slave or free. Then he will ask, where are the gods, the rock whom they trusted, who ate the fat of their sacrifices and drank the wine of their drink offering? Let him get up and help you. Let him protect you. See now that I am here, and there is no God besides me. I put to death and I make alive. I wound and I heal. No one saves anyone from my hand. For I lift up my hand to the heaven and swear, as surely as I am alive forever, if I sharpen my flashing sword and set my hand to judgment, I will render vengeance to my foes, repay those who hate me. I will make arrows with blood, My sword will devour flesh, the blood of the slain and his captives, flesh from the wild-haired heads of the enemy. Sing out, you nations, about his people, for he will avenge the blood of his servants. He will render vengeance on his adversaries and make atonement for the land of his people. Now we have to understand, folks, this is a very, very serious message that people won't understand if they didn't start reading Genesis right from the beginning and saw how time after time again the chosen people of Israel completely ignored and disrespected our wonderful Creator. Then it goes on saying, verse 32-44, Moses came out and proclaimed all the words of this song in the hearing of the people and Joshua the son of Nun. When he finished speaking all these words to all Israel, he said to them, Take to heart all the words of my testimony against you today, so that you can use them, charging your children to be careful to obey the words of this Torah. For this is not a trivial matter for you. On the contrary, it is your life. Through it you will live long in a land you are crossing in the Jordan to possess. Goes on to say here, the same day that our Creator said to Moses, Go up into the land across from the land of Jericho, and look over the land of Canaan, which I am giving the people of Israel as a possession. On the mountain you are ascending, you will die and be gathered to your people, just as Aaron your brother died on Mount Hor and was gathered to his people. The reason for this is that both you broke faith with me there among the people of Israel in the spring, in the desert. You failed to demonstrate my holiness there amongst the people of Israel, so you will see the land from a distance, but you will not enter the land I am giving you to the people of Israel. Listen, everybody, we have a promised land that is given to us. Many of us will see it from a distance, but we won't enter, and the reason why is because we did not proclaim our Creator as who He is, and the only God of this world. Too many people today are mingling the seed, and they're not taking this seriously enough. And these parting words of Moses is a message that comes from many of the messages that Moses was the messenger of our wonderful Creator. And he told them, get right with it now and stop waiting any longer. Time is running out. And we have another Torah portion coming next week, but that's it. That's it. Then we got to start all over again. Why do we have to keep starting all over again? People aren't getting it. And it's my prayer that as you're listening to these Torah portions each week, you will get it, you will understand, and you will realize the importance of this. And you do, He will bless you. Remember, obedience and blessings goes hand in hand, and disobedience and curses go hand in hand. If you have any comments or questions, post them below the video. It's been my pleasure bringing you these Torah portions, this Torah cycle. We got one more left. And until then, shalom, shalom, and have a great Shabbat, and we'll see you again soon.
Life ministries come out of the world. Messiah people seek the truth.